Okay, let's make some sea bass then. I've got numerous problems counting against me here. This is my first time going live on YouTube. Smoke's going to billow out of everywhere, stuff's going to go wrong. I'm absolutely certain of it. It's my first time cooking sea bass, which is going to surprise some of you because you know that I cook a lot. I cook all different sorts of things, whether it's pork, fish, chicken, kangaroo, ostrich, whatever, I don't mind. However, I'm the only person in my family that likes fish, so I very rarely get the chance to cook with it. But I do get to eat it. Whenever I go to a restaurant, I almost always order the fish dish. And the reason I'm doing this one today is because of that, is because I had a fish dish the other day in the Isle of Wight. Let me pop it up on screen for you now. It's actually the thumbnail as well. That's that fish dish there. From the Blacksmith's pub in the Isle of Wight. That's a sea bass on what they called a panzanella salad. Panzanella salad is a bread salad from Italy. I really like it, and I was absolutely blown away by this dish, and I thought, I've got to try it. And I thought, what better way than to pop myself on YouTube and see what happens. I'm also using this hot plate, which I've borrowed from a friend. I've used it once before, but I've no idea how it's going to serve me today. It's certainly hot, but let's see what happens. Let me run you through the ingredients I've got here. So I've got some cherry tomatoes, which I'm just going to halve in a moment. A rather chunky spring onion. Red onion also works really well in this. A handful of olives, which I'm going to use at some point, and just chuck a few in. Piece of bread, obviously, to make the bread element of a panzanella, and of course my sea bass. I'm just going to leave that in the packet for a moment and come back to that. It's a lovely bit of sea bass there. So let's see what happens. So first of all, I'm going to get on with chopping some cherry tomatoes that's forming the base of it. Actually, a panzanella, usually you use stale bread and chop it into chunks. I've got a recipe for it on my blog. I'm sure I'll link to it at some point. You dice up tomatoes, capers. That's the other thing we need, capers. Got some capers here. Pop some capers in there. Olives, bread, tomatoes. Season it up really nicely. Fresh basil works really well. Tumble it all together. And then best of all, leave it in the fridge until later. If you leave it in the fridge till later and then bring it out the next day, let it go back up to room temperature, it's super, super tasty. Well worth it. I highly recommend it. So let's get on with halving some cherry tomatoes. This is usually, panzanella, a raw dish. I'm just going to give them a little bit of colour in the pan, which is going to give us some interesting flavours going on. So I'm just going to halve up some cherry tomatoes so we get the cut side, so I get something to cook off. That'll be fun. I'm not counting it, I'm not weighing it, just I'm only making it for one. As I said earlier, I'm the only person in my house who eats fish, so I'm just stopping, as Michael Jackson said, when I've had enough. Boshing through them. Cherry tomatoes, I think a few more. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Chomp, chomp, chomp. I think that's going to do us. And then with that, I'm also going to fry out this spring onion. I'm going to take off the top. I'll use that in something else, but not in this dish. Bit of schmutz on there. I don't like the look of, so I'm going to get rid of that. Just going to slice through. I'm just going to give this a little rough dice. I'm not particularly going to be fussy about it. It wouldn't be a problem to put this into the salad raw either, simply because you're going to leave it to marinate in oils and vinegar. But as I've said, we're not doing things the normal way here. So I'm just roughing my way through that. Lost a bit off the plate, but you know what? I'll get by. If I'm honest, this onion's past its best. It's getting a little soft, which makes it perfect for doing this kind of dish with, and in fact leaving it to stew overnight. Right, pan on the heat. Let's let that warm up for a minute and talk about what's going on. So what's going on with you today? Much happening? Let's have a quick flick over to the chat, see what's going on. Excellent. This is one of those dishes, obviously, I've had on holiday. Now, there's a chance of falling into a trap with holiday food. You have something on holiday and you think it's the best thing you've ever eaten. And then when you come back and you try and have it again, it's not the same. Or you maybe have a drink, a bottle of wine is a classic cliche that you have while you're on holiday. You've got no worries or cares. You've got your feet in the sea, or you're on an amazing balcony on a brilliant view. And funnily enough, you come back into the rain as it is here right now, where I am in England, and you eat it. It's just not the same as when you're amidst the lap of luxury. Somehow food tastes different. I think food and eating is 50% environment. Nice. Okay. I'm going to get a little bucket, get rid of my rubbish, get a takeaway tub. It's my top tip. And all your trimmings and cuttings can go in there. You can sort them out later. I'm going to get a little bowl, I think. That little bowl is going to house all of my salad as it finishes cooking here. Okay, so we've got a nice heat here, nice and gentle. So just a nice basic olive oil going here. I'm going to work a day, nearly running out there. Give that a minute to heat up. And then I'm going to add the tomatoes and onions. And I'm sort of cooking them, but really I'm looking to warm them through, give them a bit of interest so that we've got colour and flavour going on. Excuse me, just getting a cloth because of oily olives. Right, let's get those in. Remember, that's just a spring onion, so you're perfectly welcome to eat spring onions raw. It's not a problem. Let's just tidy a few things up as we go. Excellent. Let's just thing now. Just going to rinse off my knife because I'm going to prep some other things. So I've got some old baguette here, which I've already cut a bit, but I'm going to cut a chunk. Now, I'm not serving another carbohydrate with this meal, like a potato. That would be totally cool, but I just don't feel like that today. So I'm going to have a couple of pieces of bread, which I'm just going to toast in the pan right at the end. Let's just give those a little bit of seasoning. Lovely, lovely. Yeah, this is where I'm learning how this hot plate works. It's a little cooler than I would like. So I'm going to crank that up and probably regret that in a few minutes' time. So enjoy laughing at that. Just while that carries on cooking, I'm going to get a teaspoon of capers. Those little weird snot green berries. Now, after me giving you that description, you're probably thinking, what the hell? I really love them. They really switch people off, but one of my daughter's favourite things to eat. She loves a caper. That salty, juicy sweetness. She loves it. Let's get a spatula now. Yeah, I should have put the heat up on this, but I bottled it. Brush that to one side for a sec. What are you having for dinner out there tonight? The heat has definitely cranked up now. Starting to just colour on the outside. Tomatoes just starting to think about puckering. I really wanted to cook on my regular hob over here, but it's a nightmare to film over there. I just don't know how I would show you guys. Ugh, no. Hence borrowing this hot plate to see if it works. And I think now I've cracked it, so super happy with that. So we'll give that another minute just to sort its life out. I just want a tiny bit more colour on some of those tomatoes. Get some nice roasty flavour going on there. Reminder, you can make that with raw tomatoes and just leave them in the salad. The oils and the vinegars that you put in there will naturally break them down. Nice. I'm not going to take those too much further. I don't really want them turning to mush. I still want some bite in there. So I'm going to tip them out into my panzanella bowl right now. Lovely. I'm sure you're getting a lovely view of the back of a pan there. I hope you can forgive me. I'm really trying to scrape all those bits out because what I really don't want, burnt onion in that pan. Now the risky bit. I'm going to put the thing up pretty much as high as it will go. That's my fish. Nice. Okay, now I've read that we should score that. Because if you don't score it, a bit like bacon, it sort of curls up on itself. So I haven't tried it. I'm using received wisdom there. Bit of salt, bit of pepper, and I'll do the other side as well when we're done. I think I'm just going to get some butter. Let's grab a spoon. Put some of that in there. Lovely. Okay, skin side down. Put that in the butter, and I understand we should hold it down so that it stays the right shape. I think the pan might be a fraction too cold. Hope I'm wrong. Wash my hands. And this is the game of nerves, isn't it? This is the game of nerves where I need to sit and wait and just go, chill, man. Just wait for it to all happen. Start to spit. The thing I'm really looking forward to is trying to get rid of the smell afterwards, which is not my wife's favourite, I'm going to say. Not her favourite. Just a bit of salt on that flesh side there. Just can't go wrong. And this is, as I say, the test of nerves. When do I flip it? I'm going to get something suitable for flipping this. 1 second. The Flipomatic 5000. So, as I said, I haven't cooked sea bass before, but many years ago. It's going to be 10 years ago now. I was at a cooking demonstration for Waitrose, and the brilliant chef there, John James, I've worked with him a couple of times, great guy, works for M&S now. He would tell people to hold their nerve and make sure that this white carried on throughout the pan. Okay, I'm going to flip that at that point. Well, it's come away in one piece, so I'm pretty happy with that. Pretty happy with that. got a bit of crusting. I'll settle for that. And now again, I'm going to wait about a minute, not much more than that. It's quite a thin piece of sea bass, and we'll see what comes out. Okay, it's definitely not a minute, but I'm just going to give it a prod. It's quite tender. Quite tender. But I would rather it was slightly under than slightly over. So I'm going to take that out. Just give it to rest a minute while I toast off my croutons. It has left a little bit of fish in the pan, so I was just there, a little bit of leftovers. Never mind. Just going to toast those bits of bread really quickly on both sides. Let's have a quick look what you guys are saying. Fantastic. Just going to crack a crust on that. That's all I'm going to do. Just a reminder for those of you that missed it earlier, this is what it looked like when I had it on holiday. I don't have any rocket and I don't have any radish because I want to keep it simple today. I've got enough things going on. So let's just go with this. Perfect, it's gone nice and toasty. Whilst it does that, I think we can start to plate what we've got. Okay, let's start to plate. So I've got some of my tomato, onion, olive, caper mix. Just going to create a little bed here that I'm going to lose underneath the fish. Put that there for a minute. I think these are done. Let's turn that off. Perfect. I'm just going to nestle those like that. I've got some super swanky olive oil that I found the other day. Brand new, see, I haven't even opened it. Oh, it's got a little spore on here. Let's have a go with that then. Oh, nice. Just a little drizzle there. The fish on the top. Pop that around the outside. Just to create a dressing as it goes. And then, you know, great little thing you get from any supermarket is balsamic drizzle. If they've reduced balsamic vinegar down, it's probably not very good quality balsamic, but it really doesn't matter. So I'm just going to drizzle some of that around as well. And occasionally you get a lovely tang of balsamic as you go through. Okay, I've flim-flammed enough. Let's get this out of the way. Let's try it. Well, here we go. Let's make sure you've got a good view of that. Over there. Just drop the fish slightly, trying to show you, but it hasn't fallen off the plate, luckily. Move it back a bit. Okay, here we go. So I'm going with the thin end, so that will obviously be the most cooked end. And I am super pleased with that. It's really tender. It's lovely and crisp. Let's get a little bit of bread underneath. It's fried bread. How can you go wrong? And the tomatoes have softened. I think I'm going to consider that a success. Super, super happy with that one. Super, super happy. Well, thanks very much for watching along. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know in the comments other things you'd like to see me try as a live cook. You know, I don't think I'm going to do chili con carne, for example, but I'm sure there's stuff out there that I could do that would work really well in a sort of pocket live stream environment. Thanks very much, guys. Have a great day. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not done so already. And have a look around the recipe archive, because I've got dozens of things down there and loads more on the blog. All the links up there, all the socials and what have you. Fantastic. Cheers for joining us. I'm going to eat my dinner. You enjoy yours. Ta-ra for now.